Emmerdale called out a forgotten friendship in tonight's episode, reminding viewers of an absent character. Arthur Thomas, played by Alfie Clark, has been off-screen for most of the year, having only appeared in 4 episodes in 2025. Nevertheless, viewers were reminded of Laurel's son and his friendship with April Windsor after troubling new events. In an early scene, Laurel was hanging out clothes on a washing line when she heard a rustling from the bush behind her. Dylan Penders was hiding behind the bush in question but managed to hide and escape being caught by Laurel. A confused Laurel headed indoors, but clearly wasn't able to shake the incident off, later informing April of the mysterious disappearance of some washing items. Laurel stopped April walking past the house and shared her theory that there appears to be a thief in the village. Laurel explained that Arthur's tracksuit bottoms had gone missing after hearing the noises from the bush earlier. "Arthur is not going to be best pleased," she added. "Would you mind giving him a call because I know he's giving you a bit of space but he does miss you, love." April spied Dylan hiding behind Laurel during the conversation and immediately put 2 and 2 together. As for Arthur, his absence means he's not been aware of the recent drama surrounding April and Dylan. Later in the episode, April and Dylan caught up at the cemetery, after April spotted him while laying flowers on her mother's grave. April asked him about Arthur's pants, which he initially denied stealing but was caught out when April told him she can see him currently wearing them. Dylan told April that rehab had sorted him out and that he was clean from drugs now, having managed to turn my life around, and even securing a stable job. He told April that his job was running errands and messages for some business guys but didn't go into more detail. Viewers know from a previous episode that Dylan is working for Joe Tate, having recently broken into Butler's farm as part of a job for him. April believed Dylan, but will his lies and criminal actions be found out? Emmerdale reawakens forgotten bonds. Arthur and April's friendship returns to the forefront amid Dylan's shady dealings. In the emotional tapestry of Emmerdale, relationships ebb and flow, sometimes fading into the background only to resurface when we least expect. That's exactly what happened in a quiet but poignant moment in this evening's episode, as the show gently reminded viewers of a once strong friendship that has quietly slipped into silence. Arthur Thomas, the beloved son of Laurel Thomas and the late Ashley, has barely graced our screens in 2025, having appeared in just 4 episodes this year. But despite his absence, Arthur's presence was keenly felt tonight as Laurel and April Windsor reflected on their shared connection to him. This sudden spotlight on Arthur's friendship with April, once a strong and supportive bond, served not only as a nostalgic nod but also as a bridge into the ongoing turmoil surrounding April and Dylan Penders, a character who continues to stir suspicion across the village. The stage was set for a quiet domestic moment that turned unsettling, and from that moment, the past, the present, and the uncertain future began to intertwine. A whisper in the bushes. The episode opened with an ordinary scene, Laurel pegging clothes on the washing line. The birds were chirping, the wind was light, and for a fleeting moment, everything seemed calm. But that peace was soon disturbed by a rustling noise from the dense bushes behind her garden. Startled, Laurel turned toward the sound, suspicion flickering across her face. She called out, but the only answer was silence. Unknown to her, the person behind the noise was Dylan Penders, quietly hiding and narrowly avoiding detection. Dylan's presence was suspicious from the get-go. Viewers, of course, are already aware of his recent descent into shady dealings. But Laurel, oblivious to this, brushed off the incident, at least at first. The curious case of the missing tracksuit. Later that day, Laurel's unease returned. She stopped April Windsor as the young girl passed her home and shared a bizarre theory. Someone had stolen a pair of Arthur's tracksuit bottoms. "Arthur is not going to be best pleased," she said with a wry smile, though concern lingered behind her words. "Would you mind giving him a call? I know he's giving you a bit of space, but he does miss you, love." The comment, while casual, hit a tender note. Arthur's absence from the show has been subtle yet noticeable. His estrangement from April has gone largely unexplained, and Laurel's request felt like a gentle reminder to viewers, and perhaps to April herself, that Arthur's role in her life isn't over just yet. As the pair chatted, April's eyes widened. From her angle, she could see Dylan, hiding behind Laurel, wearing none other than the very item in question, Arthur's missing trackies. April's mind started to connect the dots, and her silence said it all. Old friends, new threats. What Emmerdale does best is turn small character moments into emotional gold, and tonight was no different. Arthur may be physically absent, but his place in April's life was suddenly thrust back into focus. Viewers will remember how closely bonded Arthur and April once were. As children growing up under complex family dynamics, they supported each other through grief, bullying, and personal discovery. Their friendship was one of the village's most touching pairings, earnest, loyal, and full of the awkward charm of youth finding its place in the world. But somewhere along the way, the bond faded. Life, as it often does in the Dales, got messy. April grew closer to others, and Arthur drifted to the background. Until now. A grave conversation. Later in the episode, April visits her mother Donna's grave, a recurring location for some of her most vulnerable and heartfelt scenes. As she places fresh flowers, she spots Dylan lingering nearby. It's a fittingly symbolic location, a place where past and present collide, and secrets are often confessed. Their conversation starts off tentatively. April asks about Arthur's tracksuit bottoms, playfully at first, but with underlying suspicion. Dylan laughs it off, denying any wrongdoing. But April, sharper than Dylan gives her credit for, calls his bluff. "I can see you're wearing them," she says, her tone calm but cutting. Caught red-handed, Dylan sighs, then launches into what appears to be a rehearsed speech. He tells her he's changed. That rehab worked. That he's clean now, finally turning his life around. He even claims to have a steady job, running errands and messages, for some local businessmen. April, torn between old loyalties and current doubts, listens carefully. Her face betrays her unease. She wants to believe Dylan. She needs to believe someone has the capacity to change. But the past, and Dylan's vague explanation, leave lingering questions. Viewers, of course, already know what April doesn't. Dylan is working for Joe Tate, the calculating businessman with a growing presence in the shadows of the village. Only recently, Dylan broke into Butler's farm under Joe's instructions, a job that might just be the beginning of something far more dangerous. The emotional weight of absence. Though Arthur was not physically present tonight, his emotional shadow loomed large. It wasn't just about a pair of tracksuit bottoms. It was about what those missing clothes represented, disconnection, forgotten friendships, and a piece of April's childhood slipping through the cracks. Laurel's gentle nudge for April to reach out to Arthur wasn't just a throwaway comment. It spoke to something deeper. The sense that relationships, once frayed, can still be stitched back together. April, wise beyond her years, now stands at a crossroads. Her world is complicated. Dylan's presence, the lies he's telling, the secrets he's keeping, all of it weighs heavily on her. And somewhere in the background, Arthur remains, unaware of the drama, but still very much part of the emotional equation. Dylan's deception. How long until it unravels? Dylan's attempt to manipulate April through charm and half-truths raises urgent questions about what he's really up to, and whether he poses a greater threat than anyone realizes. While his claim of working for businessmen may sound innocent, the reality is far murkier. Joe Tate's growing influence in the village is a ticking time bomb, and Dylan, intentionally or not, is becoming one of his pawns. April's instincts are sharp, but her compassion could be her undoing. If she continues to give Dylan the benefit of the doubt, she may find herself drawn into something far more dangerous than she ever expected. A friendship worth fighting for? There's a quiet hopefulness in tonight's episode. Amid the tension and uncertainty, the suggestion that Arthur and April's friendship could be rekindled adds a much-needed emotional core. Though they've drifted apart, the foundation they built as children remains intact. If April follows Laurel's advice and reaches out, it could mark the beginning of a new chapter, not just for them, but for viewers who have missed Arthur's presence in the village. The show has never shied away from tackling difficult themes, addiction, grief, betrayal, and it's often through the lens of youth that Emmerdale finds its most powerful moments. Looking ahead, could Arthur be the key to Dylan's downfall? With Arthur still in the shadows and April now caught between two very different young men, a new narrative possibility emerges. What if Arthur, upon learning what's really going on with Dylan, steps in? He knows April. He knows when something isn't right. And he has his own reasons to want to protect the people he loves, including his mother Laurel, who already suspects that something's not adding up. If Arthur returns to the forefront, he could be instrumental in uncovering Dylan's lies. His presence could restore balance, not only in April's life, but in the broader storyline surrounding Joe Tate's secret operations. Final thoughts. Quiet moments, loud impact. Tonight's episode was a masterclass in understated storytelling. No major confrontations, no explosive reveals, just a quiet conversation, a stolen tracksuit, and a memory of a forgotten friendship. Yet those moments carried weight. They reminded us that Emmerdale isn't just about shocking twists and villainous schemes. It's about people, about connections, about what happens when we lose touch with someone who once meant everything, and what it means to reach back and try again.